a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me. Yeah. Big time, big time, big time. Big time. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind. Lot of signs, smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. It's running over with the dollar signs. Try and take it from me. Big time. I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try and take it from me, from me, from me, from me. Big time, number 9. Down in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. That's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a Wednesday edition. A little different look here on the Ysn Power Hour, as we got a game going on right now in the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Crestview and Heartland going at it. Stephen Barnes opened up the scoring at 2-0, and there's Crestview tying things right back up, it looks like, at 2 apiece, or they give him 3 on that? I think they gave him 3. So either way, we're going to make sure that you guys can watch the game here. You can listen to kind of like an Eli Payton feel to it here today. But before we get to anything, we got to get to our national day that is, and it's International Tea Day. Like tea, the tea you sip day. So my question to you is, what's the best kind of tea out there? I'm a big tea guy. Love tea. Love tea. And I'm going to say blueberry acai tea is the best out there. Acai. Just so I get to say that. So I'm going to vote for that. Scotty, are you a tea guy?
I'm not much of a tea guy. If I do have tea, I do love a good Mickey D's, their sweet tea.
Oh, the rot in your teeth tea.
Yeah. That's right on my alley.
All right. CJ, you like tea?
Yeah, I love it. That's the drink that I usually have every day, every waking day. Drinking it right now. I have weaned myself off the sweet tea just to get away from the sugar. So I'll go with like a normal Lipton black tea.
All right. Donnie Ricks, what are you thinking?
I love my iced tea, especially when it's paired with a Crown Peach. No, I'm always drinking tea. I love the Arnold Palmers. I love every bit of. It's so funny. Is like I order a sweet tea or something or a raspberry tea at a place and they don't have it. They're like, oh, we just have unsweetened. I'm like, okay, that's good too. They're like, how do you go from one extreme to the other? It's iced tea is iced tea, and hot tea. I'm not really big on, only because it, like every time I drink hot tea, I'm sick. So I don't do that. I try to try not to associate it with that, but unfortunately, it's the only time it ever happens. So
it's similar because my wife won't drink ginger ale because the only time she drinks ginger ale is when she's sick.
Yeah,
So
but
she
see,
can't stand it.
I'll drink ginger ale when it's also paired with my Crown Royal, so it's okay.
I'll drink ginger ale when it's just sitting in the fridge by itself. I love ginger ale. I feel like
Yeah.
everybody loves Raymond.
I second that.
You
I
like
think,
ginger ale?
yeah, I think
Oh.
ginger ale is underrated. To be honest with you,
It really is. And the proper Shirley Temple is supposed to be made with ginger ale, not 7-Up or Sprite.
I don't know anything about Shirley Temple.
Ah, you haven't
Or
lived
Betty
until you
Boop
had a
or
really
any
good
of those.
Shirley Temple, buddy.
Rob, are you a tea guy?
No, in honor of the Sons of Liberty and the Boston Tea Party, I can't stand tea.
Every time he
Never
sees
been
it,
a fan.
every time he sees it, he throws it in the Mahoning River.
That's it.
Tosses it right out.
What's so instead of tea, what do you drink? Are you a water guy? Like coffee? What do you do?
I don't drink coffee. Ironically enough, I had a cup this morning, but I'm not a big coffee guy. I'm more water during the day if I'm at work. But if I'm drinking like pop, it's got to be Mountain Dew or Code Red Mountain Dew. And other than that, of course, I'm doing Coors Light or Crown Apple.
I believe that Code Red is part of every ginger's DNA. Like secretly, like Pepsi had it on lockdown. They know that every ginger in America is drinking Code Red Mountain Dew.
It's one of the best. It's one of the best pops I've ever had.
Can I make
opinion.
a suggestion? And it sounds disgusting, but was it gingerbread, Mountain Dew, ginger snaps or something like that?
Is that any good?
It's delicious.
oh, I've had that too. It's awesome. I love it.
It tastes.
I
So
got
good.
to try it because I've seen it, but I wasn't trusting it.
I had to try it. It is amazing. It is really good. It sounds disgusting, but it is delicious. And if you're a Mountain Dew fan, you're gonna enjoy it. I think, especially Code Red.
I'm gonna go out and get one tonight.
There you go. So there you go. All right, Rob, it is time for your Bear Brothers. What? Wait a minute. Wait. Would you rather? I'm getting ahead of myself. Would you rather? Presented by our friends at Bear Brothers. Bear Brothers Fine Hardwoods. I got one eye on this game, and I'm trying to do other stuff, and it's not working out so well. So help me out here, Rob.
All right. So if you were able to time travel, would you rather go back and meet your ancestors, or go forward and meet your great great grandchildren?
Wow. I'm not starting this one. Who wants to start this one? This is tough for me.
I'll start this one. We can go up if you want.
Okay.
So I think me personally, I would be much more curious. Now I can make a joke that one time in a flea market, I seen or my mom actually told me this when I was a kid. You know how parents tell you things and it sticks with you, only to find out as later in your adult life that they were just full of crap.
Yeah.
So she told me that Mush is royalty in Germany. So, when I was a kid or, adolescent years, I thought that some distant relative was royalty. If that was the case, I might say, let's go back and hang out in the castles or whatever. But, of course, come to find out that was not true. So I would actually, I would be way more curious about what my great-great-grandchildren are going through on this planet that far down the road. So I'm going to go forward.
Okay. So you're going into the future.
Into the future.
All right. Donnie?
I mean, I feel like I'd have to go forward too. How far back are you talking though? I mean, if you figure ancestors,
Well, if you want, you could go back as far as you want for ancestors. Wherever your tree line started. Even in the future, like when they say great great grandchildren, you could throw another great great great. I don't think how far it matters how far you go in the future. Tom Brady's still going to be one of the best quarterbacks. He's probably still playing, so
he'll still be MVP, or he'll be playing. He'll be playing checkers against Brett Favre. But no, I mean, you know what? I mean, I guess I would want to do both, only because I never got to meet my grandparents on my dad's side. They had passed before I was born. But then I would always want to see what my future grandchildren and great-grandchildren are doing too, because you're never promised tomorrow. So, yeah, maybe I'm going in the future. I'm going in the future.
All right. CJ?
Yeah, this is a really good one.
That's a great one.
It is, yeah.
Top notch, Rob.
Yeah, as interested as I would be to go in the future, I am fascinated with my family's history. Like I bought the ancestry.com stuff. I'm looking like this has been the past 2 years I've been searching this stuff. So I would love to go back and find, my ancestors, see what they were up to. I did find out that there's a George Washington Shroud somewhere, so that would be fascinating to talk to him.
Really?
Yeah, George Washington Shrouds.
That's interesting.
It is.
Scotty, I'm interested to hear this one.
Yeah. I think I think I'm definitely going back in time and checking out all my ancestors and what they were up to, and just kind of getting that. I'm fascinated with like history of that, and where everybody came from, and things of that nature. So I definitely want to go back. Uh, on top of that, there's good things in life, man, but it's a messed up world. I'm not really like bringing kids into the world. If I would end up with somebody, I'm not really big on, like, I want to travel on my own. So it seems kind of cold hearted, but I've never been big on the idea of having children. So I would go back.
I would love to just be with you when you went back and watch everybody, like, thinking about, like, Back to the Future 3, when, like, he had the shoes on. Scotty, you rolling through the Wild Wild West in your chair. Like, how many people would just be like, what in tarnation is that?
Have man, have machine. I'd have guns. I'd have guns mounted on each side of my wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
Scotty'd have a cowboy hat on, his thing. He'd be looking like Michael J. Fox with what is that called? Like, women wear it now. It's like fashionable. Almost like a blanket over top of you. You know what I'm talking about?
The Afghan?
It's not an Afghan, is it?
Why isn't it?
Someone
I think it is.
It's not Snuggie.
That's Steve Coca. Steve Coca, is that what do they wear?
How about the free advertising they're getting now with the Power Hour? No, you know what I'm talking about? It looks like a blanket. You turn sideways, and the point comes down this way.
Yeah.
What is
That's
that
not
called?
that's like a throw, like an Afghan throw.
Yeah. But
Jacket.
There's a
Sweater.
name for it. I'm sure we're gonna get texts from the female viewers saying what it is.
It's not a sash, is it?
No, sash is the thing that goes like
It's almost
over
like a
top.
scarf, right? Yeah.
Amo. Say an EP with a massive win. We'll get there in a second. Yeah, I gotta give credit where credit's due. Scotty, I love that, going back in time to figure out, what who your ancestors are and what they were like, and kind of where you were arrived from, I guess. But all that being said, listen, I know my history of my family on both sides. I'm good with it. I want to see what the future holds for my family, especially because our tree got a little twisted from a standpoint, with my wife and I. So I want to see what our kids, whatever they look like, and however many we end up having, are representing the name, because it's a little different look now. You know what I mean? Because we're not all blood anymore, from a standpoint of people that will hopefully represent the last name Yoakley. Who, funny enough, Rob, I think you were talking about your last name, how it got kind of twisted around. Yoakley was derived from Yaxley back in the olden days. So, when people refer to me, they call me Yoke. That's my shortened name, but it would have been Yax back in the day. So I'm kind of like, man, that would have been kind of sweet. Maybe I take a trip down to Lisbon and get that changed back to the Yax man.
You should ride from the word douche. They had no choice but to change it after the 21st century.
That was good. thank you to Rob. That was a great one today. And thank you to Berry Brothers for sponsoring that each and every day. Our Would You Rather, brought to you by BerryBrothers.com. All right, gentlemen, obviously basketball on the mind. We got watching this game, and they're just chucking up threes. We're going to talk about some of the games at hand, and namely that East Palestine-Letonia game, the Cheney St. V's game. Donnie, you had a great game last night as well. But I want to talk about this. How cool is this for kids to be able, and coaches and programs, to be able to go in and play on a professional court, at a professional field, whatever the venue, at a professional level, and be 14 to 18 years old and be able to play where your heroes play? How, on a scale of 1 to 10, how cool is this, and how much would you want to do this if you could be in their shoes right now? Donnie?
20. Listen, and I'm going to tell you right now, here's the reason why. Do you see a high school three-point line right there?
No.
That's exactly my range, bro. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, I do. It's white. They made it
Oh,
white.
forget it. I'm talking that NBA range, probably 3 feet behind. That's where I'm firing from.
That's your range?
Oh man. Anywhere on the court is my range, buddy.
You got more range than a Maytag.
Listen, I would have loved to be out on that floor. I would have probably tried to dunk too.
Can you dunk?
Could
you?
Could.
You could.
I'm a lot bigger now.
Was it like emphatic, like
No.
elbow in?
I never was able to dunk in a game, which sucked. I could back in the day.
Dude, see that official down in the bottom left-hand corner? He was at the Letonia game last night.
Well, they have to provide their own officials, right? I mean,
they?
It's all part of that package. Whoever is the home team, it's their officials.
Ah.
So Donnie, what you're saying is, like, if it came down to it, you would have won the $5,000 off of Wesley Snipes at the end of that movie.
Oh, he would have picked. Listen, they would have picked me in the crowd, and I would have absolutely. I wouldn't have been able to two-hand stuff it, but I would have tomahawked it for sure.
That's all that would have mattered.
A little guy named Dick Hartzell and his jump stretch program really helped me between my junior and senior year.
Dick Hartzell, that's a name. Oh my goodness!
But you guys got to remember, I was 165 pounds soaking wet in high school, and I could run like a deer. So
you're skying through.
Well, yeah, it was fun. I have one of the best. I wish I could find the VHS tape. Do you guys know what a VHS tape is? Some of you younger guys.
CJ might know.
I wish I could find the VHS tape of me with this ridiculous block. It was basically the LeBron block on Iguodala. I did against the kid from Lowville. The poor kid thought he had this nice easy layup, and I put it past the 3-point line off the glass. It was awesome. But yeah, it was fun.
5:43 and ticking in this game. 24-13 it looks like now.
Yeah, but that's Heartland's game though. They want to get the ball up and down the court as fast as they possibly can. And this is completely out of Josh Scott's comfort zone. But he has the offense to do it, and while you have the weapons and Johnny Buckets, man, you got to roll with it. So
look, and they waste no time getting
no
down
time at all. No time at all.
CJ, what would you do I mean, we just talked about it. You might be playing at PNC Park.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, this is the coolest thing. Anytime, whenever you're a kid, what are you dreaming of, right? You're dreaming of hitting that 3-run home run at the big leagues, the walk-off home run, whatever it may be. But you're dreaming of playing in a big league facility. So this is the coolest thing for kids. Even if it's not at, like the NBA stadium. I mean, playing at a college facility, that stuff's so cool too. Like a couple years ago when we played at Penn State, it was a beautiful facility they got with the Nittany Mountain in the background, and the dimensions are based off of PNC Park. So even playing there, that was awesome.
Two good coaches, Coach Scott, Coach Gates. Rob, from your standpoint, how much would you love to be playing on this court right now?
I mean, it's got to be, I said 20. I mean, I'm going to be more realistic and just say 11. But I mean, you go from You go from some of these smaller courts that we were talking about the other day around here, and then you're playing in a 20-some thousand seat place like up in Cleveland. I mean, it's got to be great for the coaches, great for the kids, fun for the parents, everybody involved.
I got to shoot kind of like Larry's doing. Larry Scragg's covering the game for us. So if you don't want to hear our commentary, you can go to ysnlive.com/live. I don't know why you wouldn't hear this great commentary but over this game. But it's crazy because he's doing it smart, where he's see how it's just panned out and he just lets it go and he can talk over it. I'm sitting there trying to like it was zoomed in. I'm going back and forth, and I just had little kids. I had like 3rd and 4th graders and 5th and 6th graders. That was my thing. And those guys look so tiny on that. I imagine that's what I would look like on the court, is just this little dude running around trying to find his way like an ant in an ant farm. But I mean, some of these cats there's some big boys. There's some tall bodies or tall drinks of water out there, and it just tells you how big those NBA players are to make the court look that small, and how quickly they can get up there with, I mean, think about LeBron, how fast that block happened. It was like 7 glides for him, and then kaboom. Scotty, from your standpoint, where would you want to be? If you could play one basketball game, where would you want to play?
I think if I could play one, and the Cavs are my team, but I've seen many games in Cleveland, and don't get me wrong, I do love the arena. But if I could play in one basketball arena, it would have to be in New York, in Madison Square Garden. I just think that would be so cool. Plus, I'm a fan of, I think, Spike Lee, like what he's done with some of his movies and his sports movies. I'm a Spike Lee fan, and obviously he's always, a Nick at the Knicks games. He's like a celebrity fan, but just playing in that arena, I think, would be just so cool. So I would pick the Garden in New York.
It's not a bad pick. If you could pick any arena or place, CJ, to play one game, where would it be? It doesn't have to be standing anymore either. It could be any time.
That's a great question. Obviously PNC Park. I just love that building. But if I'm gonna go with something else, I'll pick something other than Pittsburgh. I think that the Oracle Park in San Francisco is the most beautiful ballpark other than PNC. Either that or Petco in San Diego. They got some real good baseball fields over there.
I can agree. I've been to San Francisco. Never been to San Diego.
I haven't been to either yet. So
when you first asked the question, DJ, I was thinking exclusively like basketball, but if we're going other sports, I would love, like, as much as I love Progressive Field and PNC Park, I think they're two like just phenomenal stadiums, ballpark. My favorite all time is Fenway in Boston, so that would be another one.
I mean, you can't go against it from that standpoint. Donnie, where would be your dream venue to play in?
I'd be playing football in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl.
Wow.
That would be unbelievable.
Rob?
Back in my basketball days, I used to play basketball quite often. They used to call me White Chocolate, and I'm going with Rutgers Park in New York.
There you go.
Oh, wow. A little and one mix tour with Rob.
Mm-hmm. Football, it would, if I had to pick, it would have to be not the damn 12 o'clock version. It would have to be Ohio State versus Michigan in Ohio State, prime time, 7 o'clock on a Saturday.
That'd be bad. That'd be so awesome.
And it's a blackout game.
Oh boy. I never got to. I didn't watch it. I really didn't pay attention. That readout they had, was that cool or no?
Yes.
Was it?
It's very cool. I mean, it's a whiteout game. Just like I'll tell you right now, man. I'm not a Penn State fan, but them whiteout games, those are sick.
Yeah.
The way that I posted on Facebook, I took a snap video of the start of it, the way they came out. I don't care who you root for. There's certain venues in college that where like Penn State's whiteout, Virginia Tech, the way they come out to Metallica. But I'll tell you what, the Ohio State, the red out was cool, but man, that blackout game, I think it was I forget how many years ago, but I believe it was Penn State. That game was sick.
Yeah, and
in Ohio State.
And that's what you're going to get at Penn State. You'll never get anything like that in the SEC. All you get is girls in crop tops, so it's like boring.
Yeah, boring.
So
20 seconds left. It's 31-23 before the break, and it looks like we're going to see another 2 for Johnny Buckets. It's weird seeing all those seats, guys, unfilled. You know what I mean? That's the one thing that is weird about the whole scenario. 1 second to shoot. Off at the buzzer. Just short. So they're going to go to halftime. Your score, Heartland Christian up by 10. So, Donnie, when you look at it, exactly what we thought. Heartland, a team that, again, Josh Scott, not necessarily a fan of pushing the tempo offensively, but is cool with obviously being able to win some ball games.
Absolutely.
And do it at a high pace here.
Yeah, and 33 points, really, he didn't turn it up too much on them, but they're used to really getting after it. And I mean, when I did that game at the Lisbon tip-off, the ball would get entered and would be down the court in 2.2 seconds. It was insane how quick they would go down and score. And they didn't care if Ridge scored right back. They were going to go down and score again. And then if they turned Ridge over, they'd score again. I mean, it was fun. A lot, and kudos to Berdovich for really setting the tone. He pretty much dictates how the basketball game's going to go each and every game. So they're just going to be a lot of fun to watch this year.
I remember 2 years ago when he first got there, or was it? I mean, it might have been last year when he first got there. Josh said, "I don't know how to even start because it's completely out of my comfort zone," and he was enamored by the opportunity to play offense, but at the same time, defense is his specialty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like a defensive coordinator trying to be an offensive coordinator in a year's transition.
Right.
So kudos to Josh for what he's been able to do, and I know there's a lot more things that he's doing now with Susie Shields moving into a new role in her life. Josh is moving into the AD role at Heartland Christian, which is awesome to me. I love that he's taking more on and getting more involved with that school because this is going to sound weird. I don't think anybody can fill Susie Shields' shoes at all. But if there's one guy that's going to be up to the task, Josh is going to be able to do it because he works so closely with Susie throughout the years. So
and he looks good in red bottoms.
That too. We're putting that on timeout because I don't know if they're just going to run commercials or not. But we want to sit and talk. One thing, guys, I want to talk about East Palestine, my Bulldogs. We talked about them yesterday, baby. I was going to get excited if they win a state title. It's not a state title, but it's a step in the right direction. For the first time in 27 games. That's 2019 was the last time East Palestine boys basketball team won a basketball game. Last night, they were able to pull it out over the Letonia Bears. So I caught up with the brand new head coach of the East Palestine Bulldogs, Mr. Jason Ray, one of a YSN. And we talked about how special it was for the Bulldogs. Take a listen. All right, Coach Ray, your first ever win as a Bulldog. This program's first win in 2 years. Talk to me about what went into this.
Our seniors finished it for us. Evan Smith just was a beast defensively, and Tyler Bastarki steps up and makes 2 free throws. I can't say enough for our senior class. and what we did. And we played some Americans like Iriachi, but guys like Weston Jones and Ryan Rosen and Caleb Brownson, and just Peyton Elliott is just demanding so much attention now. Defensive open up some things for other people. So I like the fact that we were able to coach tonight and kind of go, with them and vice versa. And Latonia's very well coached. It's gonna be fun in round 2. But to come over here, I've been coming here when I was a ball boy back in the 80s. It's when I was a ball boy at Stanton High School, and I know what it's about to come over here and win over here and lose over here. But I really appreciate everybody in Bulldog Nation that's watching tonight on YSN. I appreciate YSN's contribution. Everybody, this one's gonna feel really good tonight.
So when you look at your seniors, I mean, Evan Smith with a couple of big three-pointers that really put you guys out front. And then you were able to protect it down the road. So talk to me about not only your seniors, but when you took over this position, the expectations of games like this and winning games like this, playing to win and not playing not to lose.
You know what? My man, right? I don't want to play to not to lose. I think the whole goal was to compete, and we said that. And I told those kids when we came in at 7 a.m. that this was going to work out. Guys like the guy standing right next to me that went out on quarantine for a week or so, and when he was sick, and comes back and I said there's going to come a time. I told him one of our scrimmages, there's going to come a time where you got to win us a ball game, and Evan and Tyler won us a ball game tonight, and I'm so happy. And I'm so happy for Evan and what he does for this program and all my seniors, but it goes from the top down, from Mr. Knifer to Pav and all them having their faith in me and to bring us in. And I appreciate all the kids before that went through the losing streak that stayed with the program. That means a lot to me. Those kids I don't even know that you guys covered for all those years. And I appreciate it, but that's just one. And we want to start stacking some wins here. But we got another tough one Friday when the Wigwam comes to town.
And that obviously Jason Ray. Guys, the only thing I could compare it to, and I'm not knocking Browns fans, but the only thing I could compare it to was the feeling when those Bud Light coolers were unchained. Was that 2 years ago?
It was 2 years ago, yeah.
Ironically, 2 years ago. Think about that. East Palestine didn't win a game for 2 years, and we're seeing a lot of that too popping up. What does it feel like? You know what I mean? If you're in that situation as a new coach to get that first win, the fan base to finally kind of get off the schneid a little bit, what is a comparable feeling in that situation to what the Bulldogs are going through here tonight, or I guess today? Let's start with one of the best Browns fans I know. No offense to anybody else. Scotty, what does that got to feel like as Coach Ray gets a victory for his team in the first time in 2 years?
Yeah, and I'm glad you decided to go my way first, DJ, because when you were playing that interview, I automatically thought about that game from a couple years ago. Because as you know, DJ, I've been a Browns season ticket holder for a while now, almost a decade. I was at that Thursday night game when they opened up the coolers, and it wasn't like, I don't want to compare it to like winning a championship, but I also really teared up. It's like I almost started like crying. It kind of got me back to thinking, and this is a different sport. I don't want to sound like I'm scattered and all over the place, but it got me back to thinking when I was a kid and like you couldn't get me away from sports and more exclusively baseball. Like I would still play every day. I would just have someone pinch run for me. And it was just a special time and glorious. And that's kind of how I felt when the Browns won that game a couple years ago. Like man, they finally did it. Like I felt like I was a part of it. Like we did something here. This is great. So that's kind of what it like brought me back to, was that game, and also my childhood when I first started to play just like backyard baseball. Something special that it's hard to put into words.
CJ, from your standpoint, to lose 27 in a row and finally, over the course of, again, 3 seasons is how that spanned, to win that one Is it a start? How do you feel? Like, do you feel like you just conquered the world?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, 3 years of hard work and frustration goes into that. It, going into such a tough losing streak like that, it's a grind for any program, for any organization. It's tough for parents. It's tough for the players, coaches. Jason Ray, he's a great guy. He came into one of my classes last year and was talking about how he coached at East of baseball. And that just it inspired me, just how the way he talked and about it so lovingly about his players, and um, he's a great fit for East Palestine. It's a start. That's just what it is. It's a start. You build off of it. The thing I would compare it to, at least for me, is when the Pirates won finally in 2013. Uh, it took them 20 years to figure it out, right? And that's what it was. It was a start. A fan base finally got to breathe. They finally got to. They had a giant boulder lifted off their shoulders, and they could just take a step back and say, "Dang, that was fun. I enjoyed that. That it wasn't a pain to go to the court. It wasn't a pain to watch on TV. It was fun."
How about Donnie? We'll lean on our veterans here because I know it probably means a little bit more to you guys now that you have kids, and from that scenario, what does it mean to you?
Well, I mean, I really think that now he can finally say, "Hey, let's trust the process. What we're doing now is getting us back to winning basketball, and what we're doing right now is working." And he can finally exhale and breathe. And it's like I'm sure the weight of that, the stress of that, of knowing that was a 27 game losing streak, and just just the fact that they were able to pull it off on the road too, which is never an easy task. Doesn't matter where you're at. I think that speaks volumes for him, and you could like I'm a fan of his right now based off that interview because man, can you tell me a coach that could care more? I'll call you a liar. I mean, this guy was all about these kids, and any coach that fully understands that no matter what you do has to always be about the kids. It has nothing to do with you. That speaks volumes for EP and hiring him as their coach.
Rob, from your standpoint, you look at that interview, you look at all that Palestine's been through in seemingly every sport outside of girls basketball and maybe track and field.
Girls volleyball was pretty good too this year.
They were all right. I called the games. They were all right, but it was, it's tough whenever you're in those conferences with these unbelievable teams. Wellsville, you can have a great year and still be second or third place in the EOAC because you have Wellsville in your conference. So that's part of the issue. But you look at just being able to win a game, Rob. Is that now that the monkey's off their back? What can happen? What can this do to somebody's confidence or a team's confidence?
In my opinion, the best way to put this into perspective for somebody that doesn't experience, just think about just a consistent amount of disappointment. Doesn't matter if every time you order a steak medium rare it comes out medium well. Doesn't matter if you get flat tires once a month. Just imagine that much disappointment for that long in a certain program, whatever school it is, and then just think about it this way: amount that disappointment into the timeline of, let's say, what'd you say it was 3 years, 2 years, three
seasons? Yep.
So just imagine that much disappointment in 2 years being erased overnight, and all of a sudden, you have this great feeling. Hopefully this turns into momentum for them, and those kids and the coaching staff can use it. But like I said, the best way for me, in my opinion, to put it in perspective is just to try and think about the most disappointing thing you can for 2 years, and then all of a sudden having that go away.
It really was a moment last night. I mean, you could hear them celebrating in the locker room as well as they should. People, okay, it's one win. Listen. It is. You're right. It is one win. But when you haven't had one in 27 games, the amount of jubilation that you have for that one game, no matter who it's against. And like Donnie said, it's a league game and it's on the road, so you're not expected to win those games. Those are the games that you're supposed to lose, that are supposed to be close. So kudos to Coach Ray and the Bulldogs getting back into the win column, and hopefully it does something. We would love to see East Palestine back in the thick of things, along with everybody else. So
I was going to say, too, to piggyback off of what Scotty was talking about, I remember watching that Bud Light game on a Thursday night, and we were at our poker club. And we're watching that game, and, no surprise, we're going to get beat by the Jets, and then Baker comes in, and he has those two throws, and then all of a sudden, like me personally, I was calling Baker Johnny Manziel, sober Johnny Manziel come out of the gates, just like everybody else. But it was almost like just the amount of jubilation you felt watching this kid come in and be like, oh, my God, I think we got it. And the level of excitement was so high. And I won't say much after that, but you know what I'm saying.
And you don't want to get ahead of yourself here, because I've already heard a couple people, and God bless them. I love the optimism for what people are now looking at East Palestine, but one game does not mean that you're automatically overnight a contender. It takes a while to get there, right? So let's not go talking ourselves up like we're ready for Cheney, or we're ready for Boardman, or we're ready. Let's win one game at a time. I know you got Southern coming into your house on Friday night. Win that game, and then win another one, and then win another one, and let's see what happens at the end of the year before we just go start crowning ourselves or our team that just won a game. Take it in context. It's a game. Be happy you won the game. You're allowed to be. You should be very excited you won that game. But let's not, go ordering rings anytime in the next couple weeks, because Jostens is going to take a long. They'll take your money, no doubt about it. But let's wait before we crown ourselves. What is that? Was it Denny Green? They are who we thought they were. If you're gonna crown them, then crown their asses. But we're going to put a wrap. Actually, I want to talk, Donnie, you had a nice game last night. Unfortunately, Boardman doesn't come out on the side we want him to, but talk to me about the heart that the Spartans have right now, and moving forward in 21 and 22.
I got to tell you, it was an extremely tough physical matchup. Defensively, both teams were banging pretty hard, and officials were letting that stuff go, and it came down to a couple really, really crucial calls at the end, and one of them, one of the officials is a buddy of mine. Like, we were talking about that a couple shows ago about officiating and stuff, and ironically, he came out to BJ's afterwards and had a couple pops with us, and we asked him about some of those calls, and he said, I didn't make those calls in the first, second, or third quarters. I wasn't going to make that call in the fourth. I stayed consistent, and you have to respect him for that. And he also got an earful from Coach Birch and said, I'm not teeing him up in this situation either. You know what I mean? So, you got to respect him for that as well. But Uniontown Lake, their game plan was to make Trey DePietro's life completely miserable. And every time he got the ball, they would crash three down on him, and he'd have to make a quick decision. And, it's just, Boardman had looks at the end. They just couldn't fall. And, these are great learning lessons for them. As early as the season goes, as early as the season is, they know they can go forward knowing that, hey, you know what? Our first three games were close. The next two slipped away from us. They just got to figure out a way to get those third quarter leads and hold on to them in the fourth quarter. So, great learning lessons for this team so far. And they have another tough matchup on the road at Louisville on Friday.
Power rankings are going to be interesting next week.
Yeah,
because
and they won't be my number one. So all you people that think I'm a homer, it's okay. They won't be my number one.
Palestine's going to be my number one. I'm straight to the top. They're making their debut at
number
one next week.
Listen, that Ursuline win over Canfield was massive yesterday.
I talked to Stevie on the road when I was coming back from the signing day in South Range, and he was impressed because
Yeah.
they're down a couple guys and they still they won by 20.
They won, yeah, at least 20, 21 maybe. Yeah.
I mean, that's Ursland. Ursland's getting it. Honest to God, Ursland's getting a big vote from me.
DJ, they're young.
Yeah.
They are young.
And I
It's
don't
awesome.
think they have Ja'Kylan Irving this year. He decided not to play. He's got
Right.
he's a little banged up from football, from what I heard. So
Right.
it's going to be interesting. And Coach Gunther's got himself a nice little team over there. So
Yeah.
I really think I have no power over this because we have an algorithm that we're using, but I think Ursula's probably going to be in the top 6, I would say.
Yeah, I would enter them. My vote for them will be number 6 exactly next week. So I knew you could see it when they were playing Boardman and how like the athleticism that they possess, and you just kept thinking to yourself like Boardman's got to be pretty happy that they're playing them early on in the season with some of those football guys not having much practice time. They are going to be a force to be reckoned with. Later on in the year for everybody.
We got a 9-point game with Heartland and Crestview. The Lions have the lead. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, guys, I don't know if you saw this. If anybody saw this, and this is going to be interesting, and we like to stick a little more on the national level when Scotty's around because he likes to bring it with his Browns and things of that nature. But there's a new...
You better wake his ass up.
Yeah, Scotty, wake up! There's a new Netflix doc coming out starring Kevin James. Do you guys see this?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Who I kind of resemble fat Kevin James. Paul Blart. They used to call me Paul Blart.
A little bit.
Oh, stop it! I'm kidding.
Yeah, like if you squint really hard. What's Sean Payton? Is the guy that Kevin James is going to be playing. Sean Payton, the coach of the Saints, is the guy that Kevin James, the guy from King of Queens, is going to be playing. And it's not like he cut down any weight for the role or anything like that. He basically just talks real slow and real quiet in what I saw in the trailer. So for Kevin James to be playing Sean Payton in this documentary, it is a comedy, and it's based off of the year that Sean Payton had to sit out of football and coach his son's Pee Wee League team. It's so crazy to me that this is even happening. This is true. It got me to thinking, though. If someone were to cast us in a movie, who would it be and why? Who would it be and why? Would it be someone we know? Like, I want one funny one and one honest one. Who would you be cast as in a movie, and who would play you? I want to know, Scott. We got to open up with Scotty, right?
Cast. Who would I be cast as?
Would it be Tom Cruise?
Man, that's it. Could be Tom Cruise. He did, of course, Born on the 4th of July, where he comes back from Vietnam and he's paralyzed, and then he becomes like an anti-war activist. Jake Gyllenhaal also played the real life guy who got his legs blown off in the
Scotty,
body.
they don't have to be actual like in a wheelchair.
I thought that's where you wanted me to go.
No.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I guess like I did really like Tom Cruise in All the Right Moves, the football movie about the small town with Craig T. Nelson, the guy that played Coach. So I really liked him. My favorite actor right now, though, is probably Joaquin Phoenix. So I'd probably go with somebody like him.
Joaquin Phoenix plays Scotty. All right, who plays C.J. Schroeds? I gotta know.
Okay, so I'm looking up actors that are 5'7", the same size as me. And I didn't know that Tom Cruise is actually the same size as me. So that's interesting. Zach Galifianakis, maybe. Just the beard, I guess.
That'd be money.
That's a good one, though.
I never thought about Zach Galifianakis for you.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Wow, that's a good one. Donnie, who would play Donnie Ricks?
Oh man, in a comedic role, I would have to be. Who would play me? I would rather play those people. Can I do that instead? I'd rather be Fat Thor, and then I'd rather be Denzel Washington in Man on Fire.
But who plays you? Who plays Donnie Riccatelli in the Donnie Riccatelli story?
Me? Sylvester Stallone plays me.
Okay.
I'm Rambo.
I like it.
I don't know.
I like it.
Ben Affleck will play me in Batman.
I'm starting to like the Kevin James one more and more.
Stop it.
All right,
I'm gonna go work mall security now, guys. I'll see you later.
Who plays Rob Bush? This is gonna be good.
A serious role, and I would have said this before, but now I'm really saying it. If you look at Cole Hauser, who plays Rip on Yellowstone,
okay,
we talked about this before. I think when I first started watching Yellowstone this year, when I was watching that character, I instantly fell in love with the dude. And then when he came into the house and he took his hat off, I couldn't believe who it was. And you would recognize him from he was the redhead in Days of Confused. He was in the movie The Breakup. He was one of the brothers. He was Vince Vaughn's brother. He was in a lot of movies. But Cole Hauser,
was he from Good Will Hunting too?
He was.
Yes, he was in Good Will Hunting. His personality, I think he would do pretty good. Funny wise, if you YouTube my name, there's one video missing, but I did 2 Matt Foley impersonations, Chris Farley,
That's awesome.
The motivational focus, and I did them for a sales meeting that we had when I used to work for Verizon, and I'll say that they were actually pretty good, except for the guy that was recording it. He was laughing the whole time, and it was kind of taken away from. But I would still say if it was a funny role, and if I put on enough weight, Chris Farley, God rest his soul, somebody like that would have to be closer to the funnier version.
I think
maybe Zach Galifianakis closer to maybe where he is now, maybe a little bit chunkier.
I would have said a Belushi for you, one of the Belushis.
Or he was good too.
Yeah.
So I have a couple. So I was thinking about this last night when I read this. If it was a serious, if it was like a action documentary of my life, Jason Statham, I would want to play me.
Oh yeah.
The bald guy, one of the only bald actors I know. And then
badass.
Because The Rock just doesn't fit. The Rock's a bald actor. the Rock's a little too big.
Are you standing on your table?
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine? DJ Yoakley is The Rock.
Can you do the eyebrow?
But from just a natural, if somebody was telling the story of my life, I feel like Galifianakis would be funny, but that's way more CJ than it is me. I think that Jonah Hill, if you just completely made him bald and had the beard and stuff like that, I think he'd be a probably good representation of my life because he's trying to get into some serious stuff now, I guess. But as funny as and crazy as my life's been, and I've tried to keep a smile on throughout the entire thing, Jonah Hill would probably be the best bet for that. So, and not like the fat Jonah Hill or even the skinny Jonah Hill, but the medium Jonah Hill, the healthy Jonah Hill. I think that's one I would go with because it's hard. Bald actors are not exciting. Unless they're in action roles. You don't see many bald dudes that are in comedy. Unless what was the league? The dude from the league, the bald guy. I can't remember his
No,
name.
wait. I think. Are you thinking of? I know exactly what you're talking about, and I want to say he was in. He had that one scene. Oh, I'm gonna forget the name of the show,
He's
but
in a
I remember
cell
the
phone
one scene.
commercial now.
He said it was like chicken pot, chicken pot, chicken pot pie.
I
And I
think so.
swear
Yeah.
that's the guy you're talking about.
I think you're
And
right.
I think it was. I don't think it was Parks and Recreation either. Damn it! I can't believe I forget the name of that show. But I could see him do. I could see him doing you.
Also, the kid from from The Office, the last two seasons, that was Little Dwight.
Little Dwight.
cut his hair off, and he'd be pretty good too. So, but just interesting. Like Kevin James and Sean Payton doesn't equal out to me. Like there's so many other actors I'm sure could have played it.
Just shoot me. That was the show. Just shoot me.
Oh,
Donnie DeMora.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
It's the scene. Just Google it. It's funny.
All right, I'll look at it. You know what time it is right now, boys. It's time to wrap things up with a spark. It's time for the Joe Dickey Electric, as we show Beard Brothers. So Joe Dickey Electric, what's your spark? Presented by DickeyElectric.com. Anything commercial, residential, anything electrical, you need to go to our friends over at Joe Dickey Electric, the official electric supplier of YSN. 4:17 to go in the fourth quarter. Things a little tighter than I thought they'd be. Heartland with a 9-point advantage on Crestview. Let's go to the Sparks. Scotty, what do you got?
I got one positive and one negative for today. My positive is what we've been watching during this edition of the Power Hour. I just think it's so cool. If I was able to play sports when I was in high school, being at a professional stadium, man, I just have like goosebumps out the yin yang. Like it doesn't get much better than that. So seeing what we're seeing right now and them getting a chance that young to be on a big stage like that, that's awesome. And then my negative one is that I'm going to be going down to First Energy Stadium this Saturday. And now the chances are a lot better that I won't go home happy. And it's kind of demoralizing because at this point in the season for a lot of teams, Browns included, every game is a must win, especially with the Packers on deck. And now they're really going to be up against it. Not saying they can't do it, but it's going to be very difficult. So I'm not going to be in a good mood probably Saturday after the game. But what are you going to do? Those are my sparks.
Stay frosty, Scotty, because they might need you, as many people as they're down on Saturday. So they might give you the old, we need a guy chucking the ball down the field, so you might be the next Baker Mayfield.
Hey, if they let me play, if they do two-hand tag, I'll be fine.
Tackle, you might be in a little trouble.
Yeah.
Let's go, CJ. What do you got?
Yeah, so today mine's a little negative spark. So obviously Spider-Man's coming out on Friday, and super pumped about that. It's the movie I've been waiting for about a year now. And I had to get rid of my Twitter for the next couple days because I saw a little screenshot of something that I didn't want to see. And let me just say, if you're a spoiler on social media, you are the scum of the earth and below everything else. That is so low blow. That is so low class. I was about ready to fight somebody.
Let's get Nick real quick on his sparks. 2 sparks. I finished all my finals this week and passed them all with flying colors. Now I can't wait to head to the Salem West Branch game tonight. Nick? Congratulations, buddy.
Congratulations.
On passing all your finals, and enjoy that game tonight. We'll have it on YSN, but if you can get there, because if you've never experienced Salem West Branch, my goodness, enjoy. Donnie Riccatelli, what do you got for us?
I'm with CJ. I already have my tickets. I got 7 tickets for the 7:10 show for Friday night, by the way. So I have 3 sparks. I have 3 positive sparks. First spark is Mackenzie on the road at Howland tonight. Get to watch her play again. My oldest daughter, Carlin, I won't be in attendance for, but it's her winter concert for orchestra. She does a phenomenal job. It's her senior year. She plays violin, and she actually plays electric violin in a rock concert called Project Mayhem, which is one of the greatest high school bands you'll ever witness. It's incredible. So
how do we go watch that?
Well, you could come to the show. We'll get you to come to the show.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fantastic. These kids are absolutely amazing. So, and then my third positive spark is that I got to do a show today with Scotty Mincher. I love listen, this guy is pure comedic gold. And I love every listen, if there's ever a show where I can't, if there's only one day I can ever do a show, it's got to be a Wednesday. It's got to be a Wednesday because Scotty's going to be there.
We love Scotty Mincher.
I love him, buddies. But yeah, no, awesome job. And honestly, this is so cool being able to see the game as well and kind of do like the commentary. This is way better than the Manning show, by the way. Way better. So, and I'm with CJ as well. You spoilers, there's a special place you can go right now if you want to do that. So.
Down to a 5-point game. It looks like a timeout on the floor. They zoomed in all of a sudden, so I don't know why, because we had the clock and everything. But we're going to we'll keep it here. Nah. You can go to ysnlive.com and you can go watch it on your own. We got stuff to do. Rob, what do you got?
I got a positive and a negative PSA. Positive, after our conversation yesterday, I couldn't stop thinking about Riser's wings. So
there you go.
I went and got the CPR dry blend? CRB dry blend, and then the hot gar. I wussed out with the lime ginger because as good as everybody said that thing is, I just wussed out. I'll try it another time. Anyways, I got the hot garlic, and those wings are deserve it of everything everybody said. They were phenomenal. I highly recommend. Check them out.
Oh yeah.
The second, this goes out to like anybody, when you pull into a Lowe's or a Home Depot, they have a designated area where us contractors can park. All right, these areas are not set up for middle-aged dog groomers to go running into Lowe's or Home Depot to replace a bathroom blind or a welcome mat that their dog just peed on. It literally says contractor parking. It does not read people who found a loophole in not having a handicap sticker parking. I'm going to need you to be a lot better than Pee Wee Herman alone in the theater and stop parking in our damn parking spots for the love of God. Thank you, everybody.
Pee Wee Herman makes an appearance on the
2 days in a row.
Unreal. Mine is simple. It's a Wednesday. We still have, goodness, I think we have 5 or 6 games tonight, including this one, not including this one. So, another full slate on the network. But I get to take my family out to eat and for a night of just being able to enjoy each other, which isn't something that happens this time of year. Usually it's 6 nights a week for me, calling games for basketball in order to get the number that we want to get to by the end of the year. So I just want to say thank you to our guys again. I know I praise them all the time and deservedly so. But, to be able to have a night to give back to my wife who hardly ever sees me. Like, I think the last time I saw her, she was surprised that I was bald. So thank you guys for the opportunity to do that. We're going to Risers in Columbiana. She loved the conversation we had yesterday. I called him last night to bring them home, and they weren't open. They open on Wednesday nights all the way through Sundays.
Right. That's right down there.
That was a little bit of a heartbreak, but we're making up with some time with the little man tonight. We'll take him. We'll get him a pretzel, one of their giant, naughty pretzels, I think they're called.
Yeah, massive.
they're huge, and the dips they bring out are phenomenal, and just be able to be at a supporting, one of our sponsors at Risers. So we'll get out there. So if you're at Risers at 6 or so, and you hear a little kid being extremely loud, I apologize in advance, because that's probably our kid. So, but thanks to Risers for supporting us, and thanks for putting out the unbelievable food and the spread that they always do. So, guys, I can't thank you enough. It was awesome. I love when we're able to watch sports together and do this stuff and talk about sports at the same time. So thank you so much for being a part of today, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow from 3 to 4 right here on the YSN Power Hour. And a special thanks to our sponsors as well, and our advertisers that run Can't Do It Without You. And congratulations again to the East Palestine basketball team. First time in 27 games that they're on the right side of things. So without further ado, that's going to do it for us today. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 to 4 right here on the network. See you guys. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports